More than 154,000 learners in private schools are uncertain about alternative examination centers upon resumption of schools after the institutions they had registered were shut, never to be reopened following the COVID-19 pandemic.
Unlike public schools, private schools depend entirely on school fees that is paid by parents when learners are in session. So when the schools were closed, private schools experienced a very difficult time. In fact, a majority of them were in distress because they did not know how to pay their bills, the salaries for their staff, operational costs, security, and a number of expenses that ordinarily would run when schools are either in session or out of session.
Spring Valley High School in Machakos County is one among the many private schools that have been hard hit to the extent of shutting down.
The reason behind closure was the effects of COVID-19, the issue of paying rent, which the first step was communication to the Ministry of Education, whereby a letter was written, and then I personally sent it to the sub-county director and a copy to the county director's office at Machakos.
Out of the 11,400 private schools in the country, 9,800 are private primary schools, 1,600 are private secondary schools, bringing the total student population to about 2.6 million. These institutions have employed about 158,000 teachers, whose fate now hangs in the balance, just like 144,000 non-teaching staff. Private School Association CEO Peter Ndoro, however, says plans are underway to alternative examination centers for the learners.
We have discussed with the Kenya National Examinations, and we have agreed that all the centers that have closed not to reopen again, that were KCPE and KCSE centers, are facilitated to get an alternative center which will host the candidates that were in those institutions that will not be able to reopen. So it will be the responsibility of individual schools to ensure that they report to the sub-county directors of education to ensure that they are facilitated to access an alternative center for examinations. So I want to assure you that no child will be disadvantaged because of the closure of private schools.
The association further wants the government to hasten the provision of the 7.5 billion stimulus package to cushion the private sector.
Parents and learners in private schools whose institutions have been closed, never to be reopened, will now have to wait for the Kenya National Examination Council for alternative examination centers. Andrin Kilemi, TV47, Nairobi.